That is why we brought the history back from that part of the world that we know that were there thousands of years and centuries before the modern civilization came. And so also for them to also see in that place as they struggle in their own democracy, that maybe they can look inward to be able to find in support and find ways to be able to incorporate and develop and evolve into what they call their new democracy. And we had somebody, a friend, a very close, not really close, but actually I consider the person a family in the sense that is someone that we look for good to come, had called me to say, we want you to support our new Nigeria movement. And then I asked him, and if he were not from you, how would I just say whether somebody have sent you, did Satan send you to come to tempt me, to ask me to be interested in what is happening in such God-forsaken place with all the wickedness and evil and the sinful and things that is going on over there. But then because of who he was, and I said, I just reminded him that as the commander of the Lord's army, what in the world do I want of this world to partake of what you governance and the things that you do in the what you call a politics that is not a governance? For it does not represent or reflect any semblance of image and likeness of God, but except that which of Satan. So in the message and in the Sunday school today, we call you as the soldiers to understand that you are not separated from the world because you live in the world, in as much as that you pass through to the world into the eternal life and into eternity to live forever. That you also know that you have a duty, a civic duty to make the world a better place, for you to participate in that, to make sure that people are not subjected into temptations that denies them opportunity order to transition into the eternal life. So that's why we started by talking about a structure of a government based on that ancient democracy that is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. And you see how I explained the way it was over there, and in which case you have youth as the foundation and the grassroots, the pillars of that particular governance. And then we talked about the structures of a government in the way they laid out all their structures of the government in every aspect of their life. From age group to age group, from age group to age group, and each age group has a leader. When we were talking about the prophecy that came before, talks about the succession plan, is what we meant when we talk about succession plan, and in which case, from each age group, within 4 years, and each person has a leader, there is a training that is going on in learning and sharpening governance before they get older to become an elder, to become things like the kindred head, or village head, or quarter chief, or the town chief. And in which case, among all these things, there are chiefs, and in which case, among the chiefs, they may appoint and elect themselves to have a leader. But you find that there is a structure of governance that is from one level to the other and one level to the other, one level to another and one level to another. So when we talk about the structures of the government, and you will see the embodiment and the synergy and everybody being actively involved in the democratic governance. And that is what is lost in a lot of places, even here in America. And in which case you have the selected elites now do not pay attention to the interest of the populace, of the entire people of American people. And in which case that even their interest is not taken into the account, and instead the leaders pursue the interest of a particular group of those that come to lobby and come to bribe and support their campaigns. And in which case there are so much lies, and you see the Lord's intervention in the past administration in the way he came to bring and turn things down. So we are using that as a way, because by empowering the people and allowing the people to be able to achieve the dividends of democracy, then the people will have opportunity to be able to look up to their God, who himself has blessed them to pursue happiness, to be able to enjoy all the blessings of God in what God has given unto them, to live a well productive life, so that they can be able to make decisions of their own, not to make decisions out of hunger, not to be able to make decisions that come back to hurt them, not to be able to undermine their ability to operate from their self-will, to be able to be free, to have the liberty to act, because every person must be judged and will be judged by my Father in heaven. And as a result of that, so it's important that every aspect of their life, that they have that freedom and the choice to make the choice upon which they will be judged by God our Father. So in the Sunday school today, you must respect and honor that in the way that you participate in that particular civic responsibility to determine your own future. So you will find that from the example from the last Sunday, and in which case that we try to bring it, so that I'm trying to tell and talk to you, the soldiers, to understand why I may like to tell stories. And most of the time you find, and all the time, I rely on personal story, things that I have verified, things that are through experience or through the testament or testimony of somebody who have experienced that, to see the power of God at work, so that you can know and understand a line of action that is acceptable, that is within the boundaries of the instructions God has given to you in the Holy Scriptures. So you find that leadership is an honorable position of power and an authority to be able to serve the people. It is not an opportunity to amass wealth. It is not selfish and self-centered. It is not a place to gain wealth or gain fame and things. For those things come to you from the people and from the service and from the benevolence of God that blesses such power and such a sovereign or such an authority. So you will see that the people are the one that grants the power and the authority by either their consensus, as we saw in what we discussed last Sunday in Sunday school, or by the persons or the people in the society electing and allowing the people to act on their behalf. And that's the tradition of a true democracy. And you will find from historically, for example, in the Igbo tribe that we talked about, go you do your search, you will see there is no criminal person